Good morning. The sound didn't work on the last one, so I'm going to try here. So I'm just filling in the info. Looks like the comments are working here too. If you're on, you need 2 blocks and a strap. And let's see here. Tech. Still a thing. Okay, I'm going to fix my mat and give people a few more moments to pop over to this new one. Hopefully everyone finds it. And we'll get started. Yeah, leave a comment if you can to let me know that you're there. Okay. Okay, gang, let's do this. I'll try to wrap it up on time because I know people have meetings and whatnot. Thanks for being here. Again, have 2 blocks and a strap or a strap-like prop. And then I'm going to bring my coffee for today. Come over to your mat and just find a comfortable seat here. Go ahead and choose a seat that feels good for you, whether you cross shins or ankles in front. Hi, Jill. I think that's you. I'm glad that you found me over here. Let the hands rest on the tops of the thighs and let the eyes close. And tune into your breath. Can you land here even though, you know, the original stream didn't work? Can you still find your place to your mat? Just tuning into the breath. Letting yourself arrive, letting yourself settle this morning. And with our theme this week, settling in this, just like noticing or coming to your mat today, knowing that and being open to transformation, being open to growth and change that might happen in the next 55 minutes or so. And I've been thinking a lot about change and growth, and you know, the world is calling for change and we're being asked to grow for, you know, whatever that means. And ultimately for me, the 2 words are almost interchangeable. But there's always this element of, you know, a little bit of the fear of the unknown that's related to change. So we're going to be working with this theme, this idea of fear of the unknown. How can we become a little bit more familiar with just the concept of the unknown? Can we begin to change our perspective a little bit on the way that we view change? Ultimately, there's this universal truth that everything is always changing. This idea of impermanence, that saying that says, you know, the only constant is change. And I like this quote that I'll read to you that I think is just really relatable. It says, growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. That's from Mandy Hill. So after observing one more cycle of breath, Let the eyes open. And then lift up off your block. Put both blocks at the front of your mat and come to sit down in Dandasana. Extend the legs long, flex the feet, hands come by the sides of the hips. And then lean back, find Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet press. And then come back to Dandasana. We'll do this a few times. Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet press. Hands can just stay behind you here. You might even lift the hips up here and then scoot the hips closer to the heels. And then take Dandasana again. From here, scoot up a little bit on your mat and catch behind the knees. Roll down onto your back. And then both soles of the feet will stay on the mat here. So both knees are bent. And then just take the right leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace the hands behind the thigh. And if the hands don't reach, use your strap or a towel from the kitchen or the bathtub here. And then just bend the knee and flex the foot, and then straighten out the leg and point the toe, and do this a few times. Yeah, just, you don't have to sync it completely with your breath unless you want to, just bending and straightening. And then on your the next time you straighten, keep the legs straight, and then lift the head and the shoulders. So bring the core online and walk the hands just up a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 hand prints. So this is more about activating the core than pulling the foot closer to the face. So try to keep the leg just straight up, or a place where it feels comfortable. You're not straining the hamstring at all. Good, and then slowly walk yourself back down. Hug the knee into the chest, and then scoot the right hand inside the right knee and take a half happy baby. Take your left hand and just press it gently against your left thigh. A little bit of a grounding element there. Stay with your breath. And then hug the right knee back into the chest and extend your left leg long this time. From here, carry the right leg across the body and take a little supine twist. Arms and hands can tee, or this left hand can stay and put a little weight on the outside of your right knee. The gaze can go over towards the right. Fill up the lungs with breath. And then come back to center, hug the knee in and place the foot down. Bend your left knee, bring the left sole of the foot to the mat, and then extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace the hands behind the hamstring, or take that opposite grip here, so the non-habitual or funky way. And then just bend and flex, and then straighten and point. Do this a few times on the left leg. Kind of pumping the leg, warming it up a little bit here. And then the next time the leg goes straight, keep it straight. Activate through the foot, so somewhere between maybe like a flex and a point. And then walk the hands up the leg. So use the belly to lift the head and the shoulders here. So this is more about activating the belly than finding a hamstring stretch. We want to keep the leg where it is. The torso is coming to the leg rather than the leg coming towards you. And then walk your hands back down and hug the knee into the chest and take a half happy baby. Left hand catches the outside of the left foot. And then the right hand presses just gently onto the right thigh. From here, hug the left knee back into the chest. Extend your right leg long and carry the left leg across the body for a twist. Tee the arm, or maybe keep the right hand on the outside edge of that left knee and then look to the left if it's available. And release and come back to center. Give the left knee a hug here and step the left foot down. Bring your right foot down as well. Hug both knees into the chest now. Lift the head and the shoulders, and then reach the hands towards the outer edges of the feet. Release the feet and just reach the fingertips as if they're shooting out the bottoms of the feet. So the knees are coming towards the chest, pulling everything in towards the midline. Good, and then release and take both legs up towards the ceiling. It's okay to have a little bend in the knees. Take the hands behind the head on your inhale. On your exhale, lift the head and the shoulders. Inhale and lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Breathe in, lower, and then exhale. Take the feet to the mat. From here, let the knees fall to the left side. Roll to the left. Come to sit up And then find your way to Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet pressed. And then from here, once again, take the hands behind you, lift the hips up, let the low back find some traction, knees rock side to side, and then place the hips a little bit closer to the heels. And then press into the outer edges of the feet, scoop the knees towards center, and then walk one hand and then the other forward for a Yogi Squat Malasana. Let the heels hang heavy, let the feet hang heavy, hands reach forward, let the head fall heavy as well. From here, take the hands underneath the shoulders, lift the hips up, and find downward facing dog. Shake the head no. And then bring the right knee to the mat underneath the right hip. Turn to the inner edge of the left foot. Left arm reaches up. And then reach the arm up and over the ear. From here, bend the elbow and take the hand to the back of the head. Reach the forearm and the crown of the head forward as you reach the left foot towards the floor or back. Good, and then straighten out the arm. Release the left hand down, tuck your left toe, breathe in. Breathe out, right knee to nose, just lift the knee up. Inhale, down dog split, right leg lift. Exhale, step the foot between the hands, find a low lunge. If the hands don't reach the floor, take the blocks underneath the hands. And then breathe in, straighten the right leg any amount. Breathe out, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten, no strain on the hamstring here. If you're the first time you're moving, keep this simple. And then this time, breathe in, straighten right leg, turn the right toes to the left and walk the hands to center. Exhale, just slightly bend the left knee any amount. Yeah. Breathe in, come back through center. Breathe out, low lunge twist, left hand presses down, right arm reaches up. And then make a small or a loose fist and take a couple wrist circles here one way and then the other way. Take the hand to the mat and step to downward facing dog. From here, bring the knees to the mat, bring your forearms to the mat, interlace the fingers, and then tuck your right toe, tuck your left toe. You're in a forearm plank with the fingers interlaced here. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower the belly, untuck the toes, separate the hands, press hands down, find Sphinx pose for a moment, breathe in. Breathe out, forehead comes to the mat, slide the hands back. Inhale, cobra pose, head and chest lift. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. From here, left knee comes to the mat underneath the left hip. Spin the inner edge of your right heel down or the right foot down, and then swing your right arm up towards the ceiling, supported side plank. On the exhale, reach the arm up and over the ear. Find that nice long side waist, and then bend the elbow. Take the hand to the back of the head. Elbow comes in towards the face, and then reach the forearm and the crown of the head forward as you reach the right heel backwards towards the floor, towards the back of the mat. Good, and then release, straighten out the arm. Exhale, hand comes to the mat, and then breathe in, tuck your right toe. Breathe out, left knee comes to the nose, just lift it up, tuck the chin. Inhale, down dog split, left leg lift. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands. Once again, hands to block if they don't reach. Breathe in, straighten left leg any amount. Breathe out, bend the knee, look forward. Easy, easy here. Breathe in, straighten right leg or left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, low lunge. Nice, guys. Inhale, straighten the leg. This time, turn the left toes to the right, walk the hands through center. On your exhale, soften your right knee any amount. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, low lunge twist to the front of the mat. Press your right hand down, left arm reaches up. Make a loose fist and then circle the hand one way and the other way. Good, and then take the arm up and over, circle the hand to the mat and find downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the mat, bring your forearms to the mat. Interlace the fingers again, this time non-habitual way, opposite grip. Tuck your left toe behind you, tuck your right toe behind you, forearm plank with interlaced fingers. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower the belly to the mat, untuck the toes, separate hands, press palms down, Sphinx pose for a moment. Inhale. Exhale, lower the forehead to the mat, hands come underneath the armpits, inner legs squeeze together. Breathe in, lift the head and the chest. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Pedal up the feet a few more times, shake the head no. Yeah, and then Find some stillness here and begin to walk the hands towards the back of the mat. When you get to the back, the knees will stay nice and bent. Take a half lift, hands to shins, look forward. Exhale, hands come to the waist. Heavy the tailbone, rise to stand. Exhale, Tadasana, heel toe feet together, mountain pose, or Samasthiti, equal standing. So hands come down by the sides, fingers reach down towards the floor, a little bit of a float of the sternum, and then gather the hands in front of your heart center. Let the eyes get heavy, the eyelids get heavier, the eyes close. And for your dedication or your kind of introspective moment here, coming back to the breath, coming back to your body, in the most honest way you can, ask yourself what you're being asked to change. What in your life are you being asked to change? What about the change scares you? Having a little honesty hour, a little honest moment with ourselves. Tuning in. You know, we get so busy. Sometimes we kind of know that this thing is there, that we're maybe like fearing something, or maybe we're spending a lot of time thinking about it. But just let yourself land here and have a real moment to acknowledge it, to honor it, to hold it in your space of non-judgment and love, the things that we cultivate in this practice, and just give it a moment. And just notice what happens when you take the time to give something attention. And then from here, keep the eyes closed if you can, and slowly walk yourself to the front of the mat. Go really slow here. Take small steps. Feel every corner of your foot pressing down through the mat. Take your time. When you think you've arrived to the front of the mat, let the eyes open and just see how you did. Notice all the interesting little like balance things that you have to do. Notice even the little bit of fear that happens when you have to walk with your eyes closed, that uncertainty. Breathe and reach the arms up and overhead. Look up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Put a little bend in the knees on the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. Breathe and roll to plank pose. Look forward. Breathe out, lower the knees. Arch the back, lower the chest and the chin. Untuck the toes, press into the shin, slide forward, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here for 5 breaths. So set yourself up and tune into the breath. That's 2. You can have a bend in the knees. Hips are high. 3. You don't have to follow my breath count. Just breathe. Just notice how many breaths you make it to. 4. On your next exhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward between the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. When you arrive, take a half lift, look forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, soften the knees, reach the arms to the sides and up. Look up, see the hands touch overhead. Exhale, pull the hands through center, find Tadasana. Again, breathe in, arms reach up, look up. Exhale, bend the knees and bring the hands to the mat. Fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe and roll to plank pose. Breathe out, look forward, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 more breaths here. Receive the breath. That's 1. Go at your own pace. 2, yeah, don't let your breath be defined by my counting. I'm just counting for the sake of the group, just as a guide. 3. 4. And then on your next exhale, you're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward between the hands. On empty, step or jump to the front. And inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Breathe in, soften the knees as you rise, hands to side and up, reverse one. Look up and see the hands touch. Exhale, hands come through center, find Tadasana. Breathe in, well, actually bring the inner edges of the feet together and then sit hips low, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stay here, look forward, look where you're going. Sit the hips lower, the butt can stick out a little bit. No, don't over tuck the tail here, but keep the tail heavy. So it's like there's a little weight on the end of it, sinking down towards the floor. From here, fold over the legs and separate the feet hip width distance. Go ahead and put 2 fists between the big toes to measure. And then grab the big toes with the first 3 fingers. Soften the knees a lot. Wiggle the sides of the waist. Breathe in. Breathe out. Fold over the legs. Elbows move in opposite directions. Head falls all the way heavy. I'm going to keep a nice healthy bend in my knees because I tend to be quite tight in the mornings. And there's no need to overstrain. So just let the body open gently here. There's no destination in terms of mobility or flexibility. So just notice and breathe into the body. The legs are active here. Let the torso be relaxed. Unclench the jaw. Open and close the mouth a few times. Soften the eyes. Shake the head no. See if you can let the head hang completely all the way heavy. On your next breath in, look forward, release the toes, heel to the feet back together. And then bend the knees and reach the hands just straight forward, almost as if they're coming out of the crown of the head, a half chair. From here, bend the knees more, sit the hips low, lift the feet up, hands come by the sides or by the legs for boat pose Navasana. Inner legs pull towards one another. Stay with your breath. Yeah, can be a little curve in the spine here so that you're activating the core. I like to flex my feet. It keeps my legs strong. You can straighten the legs here. And then on your next breath in, lower everything to Ardha Navasana, low boat. Legs stay straight. Everything hovers. Breathe in. You're probably shaking a little bit. Stay with it. Breathe out. Breathe in. And release everything to the mat. Bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Plant the elbows into the mat so that the fingertips point up towards the ceiling, and then lift the hips, not like a full bridge pose, just a little lift here. Just sway the hips side to side. We just want to let the fronts of the legs open after we've done some folding. And boat pose can often, you can get a little like clenchy in the hip flexors and in the groin. And then lower the seat down. From here, grab your strap. Take both legs up to the ceiling and put both feet into the strap here. Yeah, and then one hand is on either side. From here, press the right foot into the strap and lower the left leg down. Yeah, keep the right leg flexed. Keep the left foot flexed. And then we're just going to walk our hands a little bit higher up on the strap. Lift your head and your shoulders up here. Toes pull a little bit more towards the face. Again, no strain. Almost just like testing it out. And then see if you can keep your foot where it is and let the head and the shoulders relax down to the mat. If it's too much, give yourself more slack in your strap here. Leg stays active. And then take both edges of the strap into your right hand. Take the left hand to the top of the left thigh. Carry right leg over to the right. Good, and then carry the leg back to center. Separate the strap and lift your left leg up into the strap with the right. Yeah, find a little room for both feet. And then release the right leg down. Keep the right foot flexed. And settle in with this left leg here. Keep both feet flexed and then walk the hands a little bit higher up onto the strap. And then from here, lift the head and the shoulders, elbows bend in opposite direction. Toes pull a little bit closer to the face, but again, no strain in the hamstring or the calf here. And then keep the toe in the foot where it is and see if you can lower the head back down. Reinsert the upper arm bones into the shoulder socket. Yeah, and then from here, lift your right leg back up, put both feet into the strap, and then remove the strap and put it to the side. You'll bend both knees into the chest, and then reach the hands inside the knees and touch the big toes once again. From here, extend the legs back up towards the ceiling, and then the toes are going to reach up and over the head. Bend the elbows in opposite directions. The low back and the hips are going to come up off the mat. Keep the feet flexed. So it's kind of like an upside down Paschimottanasana or seated forward fold. Yeah, let the low back come up and off. And lower the feet and the low back down to the mat. Bend the knees, find a happy baby. Yeah, it should feel kind of good and like giving it, even flutter the lips if it feels good. Get your home practice on where you could do whatever you want. You're not going to disturb anyone. But sometimes it's nice. Sometimes in the studio, everyone's kind of like more in the, everyone's practicing. So there's a little bit more of a collective, like letting go in that way too. But it's good to find that on your own in your own space. So come back to center with this happy baby. And you're going to lift your head and your shoulders up and start to rock forward and back. I know this is a little funky. And then you're going to make momentum and come all the way up. Feet kind of come together to touch like a Baddha Konasana. And then balance on the hip bones or the sit bones and reach the feet up towards the ceiling. Look up. Let the head fall back a little here. Yeah, keep pressing the balls of the feet towards the ceiling. And release. Soles of the feet come to the mat. Knees point up towards the ceiling. Hands come behind you. Fingertips face forward. Lift the hips up. Let the head fall back. Good. And then feet come to the mat. Find Baddha Konasana once again. Hands come behind you. Press the outer edges of the feet down. Scoop knees together. Come back to Yogi Squat Malasana. This time, walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift the hips up. Place the knees on the backs of the arms. Look forward. Bend the elbows straight back. And find crow pose. Breathing in. Breathing out. Stay with it. 2 more cycles. If you have it in your practice to shoot the legs back and land with bent arms and chaturanga, take that. Otherwise, step back to downward facing dog. We'll all meet in down dog here. Let the head fall heavy. Good. Breathe in, right leg lifts. Breathe out, step the foot forward between the hands, back heel spins down. Reach the arms to the sides and up, warrior 1. Hands press overhead, look up and see the hands. Interlace the fingers, bend the elbows, and take the hands to the back of the head. Reach the forearms up and the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Wiggle the sides of the waist long as you bend into your front knee. Track the back leg long and press the outer edge of your left foot down into the mat. Release the hands, arms reach up, hands press. And then hands come to the sides and down. Flip your left heel up. Breathe in, straighten your right leg, turn right toes to the left, come through center. Exhale, turn your left toes out just slightly and bend into the knee. Some of us are going to come all the way into Skandasana. Right leg stays long and straight. Good, and then come back through center. Exhale, low lunge to the front of the mat. Take your blocks on the highest setting, reach them out shoulder width distance in front of you, and launch forward into supported warrior 3. Left leg lifts up. Press your right foot down into the mat and then come to your finger pads on the blocks. Use the belly, use the sides of the waist, and then carry the hands to heart center, warrior 3. From here, slowly lift the torso as the left leg falls. Press your left foot down next to your right. Hug your right knee into the chest. Open the knee to the side and set up for tree pose. Press your hands in front of heart center once again. Find that center line. We're kind of playing with that center line. That's a place we can kind of come back to or have as our grounding kind of plumb line when we are feeling uncertain. When you find a non-moving spot for your gaze, you can reach the arms up and overhead. Keep pressing down through your left foot. Stay with your breath. And then take the hands to the waist, carry the right knee forward, extend the leg long, and step the right foot down. Take the hands back to the heart center. Press down through your right foot. And then as the torso leans forward, the left heel reaches back. You're coming through a warrior three again. Soften your right knee, hands come to the mat. Tap your left toe back behind you. Breathe in, straighten right leg. Hop in your left foot just enough to ground the heel down. And then if the hands don't reach, blocks come underneath the hands. Half lift, wiggle the sides of the waist long. On your exhale, fold the sternum towards your front leg and let the head fall heavy. Breathe here. Shake the head, no. Open and close the mouth, no clenching. Totally fine to have a little softness in the front knee. Easy on the hamstrings. Inhale, look forward, soften your front knee. Left knee comes forward outside the right foot. Sit down into a seated spinal twist shape or seated spinal shape. Breathe in and reach your left arm up. Breathe out, give the right knee a hug with the left arm. Right hand comes behind you, elbows go wide. Make this a really easy, simple twist, not your deepest twist of all time. And then come back to your center and take a little twist to the left. Come back through center, lean onto the left side, right leg swings all the way around behind you. Left knee comes over to the left, find pigeon pose, right leg goes long. And then come to the forearms, maybe the forearms come to a block. You can fold forward any amount here. The forehead can come all the way down to the mat. From here, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck right toe, lift your right knee. Step to plank pose, big toes come to touch. Turn to the outer edge of your right foot, left arm reaches up, side plank. Yeah, keep lifting the hips up, reach the left arm up and over the ear. Gaze can go up. Make sure to soften that right elbow if you tend to hyperextend. Breathe in, come to plank pose. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lift. Exhale, step the foot forward between the hands, back heel spins down. Arms reach to the sides and up. Look and see the hands touch overhead. From here, interlace the hands non-habitual way. Bend the elbows, take the hands to the back of the head. And then reach the forearms up towards the ceiling. Notice what has to happen to the shoulders when the forearms press up. Crown of the head reaches up as you bend into the left knee and you track the right leg super long. And release, straighten the arms. Hands come up, release the fingers, and take the hands to the mat. Flip your back heel up. Straighten left leg, turn toes to the right, come through center, and then turn right toes out. Bend the right knee any amount. Maybe you come all the way to Skandasana. Left leg goes super long here. And then come back through center and find a low lunge at the front of the mat. Hands come to blocks on the highest setting. Launch forward into supported warrior three. Right leg lifts up. Come to the balls of your fingers. Turn the belly on line and then take the hands to the heart center. From here, slowly lift your torso up as the right foot comes down and lands right next to the left. Press right foot down, hug the left knee into the chest, and open the knee to the side, tree pose. Press the hands in front of your heart center. Find a non-moving spot for your gaze. Feel the whole right leg turn on line, especially the inner edge of the leg. Once you find your center plumb line, take the hands up. So feel the sides of the waist growing long. At the same time, feel them pulling in towards the center line. And then take the hands to the waist, extend your left leg long, and step the left foot down. Hands come back to touch in front of your heart center. Flex, lift your right toes up off the mat so that the heel is the right heel is almost pressing into the mat. As you take your torso forward, keep reaching that right heel back behind you. Just tilting into a warrior three here. Soften the left knee, hands come to the mat and tap your right toe behind you. Straighten your left leg, hop in your back foot enough to ground the heel down. So there's a little space between the heels. The heels aren't in perfect alignment. Lengthen the sides of the waist and fold over your left leg. Let the head fall heavy. Unclench the jaw. Soften the eyes. Soften the neck. Yeah, hands to blocks if the hands don't reach the floor. Inhale, look forward, soften your front knee, and then the right knee comes outside your left foot. Sit down in a seated spinal shape. From here, right arm reaches up, left hand comes behind. Give the knee a hug. Elbows go wide. Simple twist. Not your most intense twist. Yeah, and then come back to center. Take a little counter twist. Come back to center, swing this left leg all the way around behind you. Right knee comes more over to the right for pigeon pose. Sink the hips down. You need a prop, place a block underneath the hip, or you could take, there's a pillow nearby or something of the sort. Come to the forearms. We're taking the forward fold here. Hands come forward. Let the forehead come to the mat. Stay with your breath. And then walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. Step to plank pose. Right foot steps back, toes touch. Turn to the outer edge of your left foot. Right arm reaches up. Gaze can go up. Take the right arm up and over the ear. And then plank pose. Downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the mat. Interlace the fingers. You can take your habitual grip here. And then tuck your toes behind you and lift the hips up and back. Let the head fall heavy. So you're in almost a dolphin pose with the fingers interlaced. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lift your thumbs off your interlaced hands. And then look forward. Breathe in. Take your chin to your thumbs. Exhale. Head falls heavy again between the upper arm bones. We're going to do this 4 more times. Breathe in, reach the chin forward. Breathe out, press back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, press back. 2 more times. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Once more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Take the knees to the mat. Legs are going to be together. Untuck the toes. Child's pose. Arms come back behind you or by the side. Crown of the head comes to the mat. And then catch the outer edges of the feet. Take the head a couple inches forward and then lift the hips. Roll onto the crown of the head for rabbit pose. Should feel a nice opening in the upper back. And then take the heels back down to the mat. Slowly roll yourself up and come back to downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Step the foot forward between the hands and drop your back knee down. Arms reach to the sides and up. And then left elbow comes and hooks outside the right knee. Make a little fist with the left hand. Take the right hand and cover the fist. And then press through the right hand to turn yourself to the right. Gaze can go up. A low lunge twist. Keep the left knee on the mat for now. And unwind, come back to center. Hands frame your front foot. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, straighten right leg, and turn right toes to the left. You're finding Prasarita, Padottanasana, wide leg fold here. Take a half lift to start, yeah. And then let the crown of the head come towards the mat. Heels of the hands come towards the heels of the feet. And then make an active or a specific note to engage the legs. Interlace the hands behind the head and reach the forearms down towards the floor. Crown of the head reaches towards the floor as well. Good. Release, hands come to the mat, half lift. And crawl back to low lunge at the front of the mat. Hands come to the blocks on the highest setting. Warrior 3, left leg lifts. Good. From here, come to the finger pads. This time, reach the arms forward. Warrior 3. Slowly tilt yourself up to stand. Left foot steps next to the right. And then hug your right knee into the chest. Right hand reaches inside the right knee. Catch the big toe with the first 3 fingers. Left hand comes to left waist. And then extend the leg forward any amount. The knee can stay bent if you need. Left arm reaches up. Breathe. Release the foot, keep the foot lifted, right leg lift, or right arm lifts up. Breathe in. Breathe out, bend the knee, flex the foot, and step the right foot down. Hands come back to heart center. Reach through your left heel. You're coming through warrior three once again, right? Or left foot reaches back as the torso reaches forward. Hands come to the mat, soften your right knee, and then find standing split. Let the torso fold into the right leg. Left leg lifts even higher. From here, left knee comes to rest outside the right foot. You're back in this seated spinal shape. Stay here or fold the right knee over the left and find Gomukhasana or cow face pose legs. Both hip points want to be pressed down onto the mat. If they don't reach, grab a block and place it underneath the feet. Eagle wrap the arms left underneath right, backs of the hands press or palms press. And then breathe in, just lift the elbows just slightly. And then reach the elbows away from you. Hook them outside the knee or on top of the knee and let the chin hang heavy. Stay with the breath. Slowly lift yourself up. Unwind the arms, lean back, hands come behind you, fingertips face forward. Uncross the legs, press the feet down and lift the hips. Knees come towards toes. Let the head fall back just enough to look up at the ceiling. Good, and then set the hips back down. Cross your right ankle over your left. Elbows come to knees. Roll forward, plant the hands, lift the knees up, place them on the backs of the arms, look forward, and take cross-legged crow. Yeah, so the ankles are crossed, not the knees. And shoot the legs back or step, step. We're meeting up in downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up. Step the foot forward between the hands. Back knee comes to the mat. Arms reach to the sides and up. And then right elbow comes outside the left knee. Make a little fist and then cover the fist with the left hand. Press through the left hand to turn yourself over to the left. Stay with your breath. And unwind, frame the front foot, tuck back toes, lift the back knee. Straighten left leg, left toes turn to the right. You're back in this wide leg straddle. Breathe in and take a half lift. Breathe out and fold. Crown of the head reaches down towards the mat. Really press through the hands this time. Bend the elbows like chaturanga the arm. If you have it in your practice to take tripod headstand, you can take it here. Otherwise, keep reaching the crown of the head towards the mat. Open and close the mouth. Stay soft. If you're up, begin to come down now. Everyone will meet in a half lift. Breathe in. Breathe out. Crawl yourself to low lunge at the front of the mat. Hands come forward to the blocks on the highest setting. Warrior three, right leg lift. Come to the finger pads and then reach the arms forward. Maybe a little softness in the left knee to find your balance. Slowly tilt yourself up. Right foot comes to press right next to the left. Hug the left knee into the chest. Left arm reaches inside the left knee, catch the big toe. Right hand comes to the right waist. Really lift the knee towards the armpit and then extend the leg any amount here. Right arm reaches up. Keep the leg lifted. Left arm reaches up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend the knee, flex the foot, and step the foot down. Hands come by the sides. So gather the hands in front of the heart. As the torso reaches forward, press your right heel back behind you. Soften the left knee. Hands come to the mat. Standing split left. Right leg lifts higher. Fold the torso into the left leg. Let the head go all the way heavy. And then the right knee comes outside your left foot. Sit the hips down into seated spinal. Stay in the seated spinal or let the left knee fall on top of the right. Both hip points press down evenly into the mat. The feet are crossed and kind of out here by the outer hips. Eagle wrap the arms. Right goes underneath left. Back of the hands press or palms press. Breathe in to lift the elbows just slightly. On your exhale, reach the elbows forward and fold forward a little bit. Either the elbows rest right on top of the knees or hook over the knees. Let the chin fall to the chest. slowly lift yourself up, unwind the arms, hands come behind you, fingertips face forward, lean back and uncross the legs, soles of the feet press, lift the hips, knees towards toes, head falls back, look up, reverse tabletop, and slowly lower the hips down. Cross left ankle over the right, pull the knees in towards the chest, elbows to knees, roll forward, press the hands down, and then take the knees to the backs of the arms, come to the tops of the toes, launch forward into cross-legged crow pose. And shoot the legs back for chaturanga or step back. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Bring the knees to the mat and come to sit on the heels. We're going to practice headstand. That's what we've been gearing up for. So all the action of reaching the heels in the opposite direction in Warrior 3, the work with our forearms, a little bit of core work, that's all going to help us find that center line. These balancing poses on our feet help us find the center line whenever we flip perspectives or flip upside down. So from your knees, bring your forearms to the mat. And the elbow should be about shoulder width distance. So from your knees, just tuck your chin and take the crown of the head and just place it. You're not going to place it between the hands. You want the hands to be really strong. And you're almost going to press the inner wrist or this like upper inner wrist into the mat. So it's almost like the pinky fingers lift up a little bit so that the wrist can press all the way down. And you're going to place your head right at the crease of the wrist. The crown of the head goes right there rather than in between the hands. So just tuck the chin and take the crown of the head there. You've got to lean forward a little bit to put the whole crown of the head onto the mat. If you've never done handstand ever, stay here and just get a feel for what it's like to have a little weight on the top of the head. If this feels okay, tuck your toes and lift the hips up from here. You might stay here, just practice putting weight into the head and then coming back to the knees and then lifting the hips up, etc., doing that a few times. If the hips lifted feel okay, walk the toes in towards the elbows. And then from here, you're going to pull a knee in towards the chest and lift the heel up. Keep pressing through the forearms and then take the toe down. And then bring the right knee in towards the chest, lift the heel towards the seat, and then come down. And then if you're going to come up with me, really press through the forearms, you'll find a little egg shape and then lift the knees up towards the ceiling and then lift the feet. If you have a wall nearby, you might go next to the wall and give yourself some support. Keep pressing down through the forearms. The shoulders are active here. There's an active kind of engagement or pressing of the shoulders as well. If you're up with me, begin to pike the legs. And slowly lower the toes down to the mat. Everyone's going to meet in child's pose. Arms can reach in front of you, or you can reach the arms back by the sides for a little extra relief of the shoulders. Just breathe for a moment here. Take the hands outside the knees and slowly lift yourself up. Sink the hips to one side and extend the legs long in front of you. Find Dandasana for a moment, hands pressed next to the hips. And hug the right knee into the chest. Open the knee to the side. Frame the leg with the hands and just walk the hands forward any amount. So we've done a fair amount of hamstring opening, but you still might feel tension. You still might not feel like, oh, I can go as deep as I have before. So listen, don't stop listening just because we're towards the end of class and I think sometimes we have these expectations that like, oh yeah, by the end of class, I'm super open and I can just kind of, if my body doesn't do a certain thing, I can just kind of force it in. So always show up with kindness, and then we'll take the other side. Left knee comes into the chest, open the knee to the side, frame the leg and walk forward. Slowly walk yourself back up and go ahead and cross the left shin in front of the right. If you need a block under the seat, go ahead and take it. Hands come to the lap. Let the eyes close for a moment here. Land in this seated meditation. If you're outgrowing who you've been, you are right on schedule. Keep evolving. That's from Layla Delia. We're just going to count the breath today. So each inhale and exhale will count as 1. You'll make your way to 10. Once you get to 10, you'll start back over at 1. And if you get distracted in any way on your journey to 10, you'll also take your count back to 1 and start again. We'll be here for about another 40 seconds. So just stay with this, counting the breath. Feel the hands on the lap again and let any focus go from the mind's eye. Let the eyes open and extend the legs long in front of you. Take the hands behind you, fingertips face forward, point the toes, press through the hands, lift the hips up, let the head fall back. Take this slow. Just take the gaze to the ceiling. No need to let the head fall all the way back. Keep pressing through the hands, especially the forefinger and the thumb. And lower all the way to the seat. Bend the knees slightly, catch behind the knees, and roll yourself onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest. And then let the knees fall over to the left. Gaze goes to the right. The arms stay T, just a simple supine twist here. Come back through center and take the knees to the opposite side. Look to the left. And come back through center. Give the knees a little hug in towards the chest. And release the legs completely long. Arms come by the sides. Set yourself up for Shavasana. Eyes closed. The body gets heavy. Even release the breath. Just letting yourself breathe naturally, everyday breath. Unclench the jaw, let the jaw hang heavy. Soften the eyes. See if you can let the whole body completely surrender. Gently guide your attention back to your breath without changing it. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Let yourself roll to your right side. Keep the eyelids heavy and press through the left hand to come to a comfortable seat. Let the hands rest on the lap. Keep the eyes closed as you navigate back to home base or back to this seat. Sit up tall. Feel the crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Sides of the waist are long. Tune back into that plumb line or your center line. The powerful potential behind change lies in the possibility that each new beginning will bring us greater joy and freedom than we have ever known. Whether or not that actually happens, whether or not we continue to grow through the cycles of our lives, is largely up to us. We play a part in what happens by choosing how we see our changes, our beginnings, our endings. We can see each ending as a tragedy and lament and resist it, or we can see each ending as a new beginning and a new birth into greater opportunities. What the caterpillar sees as a tragedy of death, the butterfly sees as the miracle of birth. Gather the hands in front of heart center and practicing this idea of impermanence. Notice again how your body feels. Be okay if it doesn't feel the same way it felt the last time you practiced yoga or finished a class. Be okay if it feels better or worse. Let the chin drop towards the chest, a little bow of the head to the heart, and then take the thumbs to the space between the eyebrows or the third eye as a way to seal your practice. Namaste, yogis. Thanks for joining today. And I think I finished close. Thanks so much for coming. We'll have class again next week at 11 a.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube. I'm going to be adding some classes to my schedule next week, probably one on today at 6 p.m. Eastern time, more of like basics and alignment. And then I'm going to add a class on Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That'll just be like a feel-good flow, probably similar to the weekly class with a little bit of restorative at the end. So thank you. Donations. I'm asking for donations. I suggest a $10 minimum. You can find me on Venmo or PayPal. The links are in the comment section. So have a great day, and I'll see you so soon.